So, when information comes in, you apply the rule of the 4 Ds. It's not the 4 Ds here, but this is the 4 Ds. It's not even the 4 olives, it's just 4 nothing, I don't know. Do it, meaning do the thing right now. If there's maybe only 2 minutes or 3 minutes of work, you can do it, do it. Get it out of there. Drop it. Let it go. Release it. It's the delete button. And it's okay to do that. That's an okay response. Delegate it. Let somebody do it. As you move up in a company, sometimes that's the most effective way for you to get your job done. And it takes a lot of learning and practice to actually let someone else do that job. Or defer it. Another word might be delay, although there's some subtle words between defer it and delay. But defer it basically means don't do it now. So if you have more than 0 items in your inbox, you might want to think about each item very quickly and triage them. If you can't do it, then you have to defer it, right? Maybe someone else can do it for you, or you drop it. But you get it out of your inbox, because this is an important point that I believe, and again, all of this is just an opinion. Your inbox is not a to-do list. It is your inbox. Anything in your inbox has not yet been triaged. It hasn't yet been sorted. So if it's in your inbox, you haven't looked at it yet. If you have an inbox that is 0, then at least you've looked at everything for that moment. It doesn't mean that you have to have your inbox 0 all the time, but it means that once a week, hopefully once a day, you want to do what's called 0 email bounce. This is when at least you bounced against 0. It's that moment when you delete that last mail, or you act on that last mail, and for a second you go, all right, 0. The information will always come in, but at least for a moment that you had all of your email handled. So applying the do-its, the delegate, these David Allen 4 Ds to the Stephen Covey quadrants, where we have urgency, urgent things across the top, and the increasing level of urgency, and important things going this way. Whenever information comes in, you have to ask yourself, is this information urgent, or is it important? And it's very important that we all understand the distinction, and I hope that we pick the right words to make the difference. Urgent might be the phone rang, and your wife wants you to get milk. Buy milk. This is urgent because the phone is ringing. But you're talking to your boss. You're in the middle of a meeting. That's important. So you have to decide, well, how important is it that I pick the phone? Will my wife be mad at me? What will happen if my boss sees me picking up the phone in the middle of a meeting? You have to ask yourself, if something is both important, your wife is pregnant, and the phone is ringing. Do it now. Your boss will understand, right? These are the kinds of things you think about. If it is neither urgent nor important, then don't do it. Don't drop it. Decide when to do it is like defer it. And then delegate it, where if it is not that important, but it's urgent, let somebody else do it. These rules apply in software, they apply in life, they apply in wedding planning, and they apply in painting your house. So things that are both urgent and important tend to be crises. They are crises. Your wife is pregnant. What? Things that are urgent, your cousin wants money. That's an interruption. We don't worry about that. He'll call somebody else. If it's neither urgent nor important, it's simply trivia. It's just part of that things that have to happen, right? Will really bad things happen if you don't bring milk home? Maybe not. You have a new baby? Crisis. These are the kinds of things you think about. But the ability to declare something as trivia and drop it is really, really important. You're awesome. Thank you so much. The kinds of things that are urgent and important tend to be when someone walks into your office or the phone rings. Emails are almost never urgent and important. But we always treat them like they are. And we get what's called urgency addiction. And you know this feeling. Check my email. Someone could be trying to get a hold of me. I have this problem. You know, what can happen? If I don't How will they survive without me? This is email or urgency addiction. Do you ever have that kind of feeling when you're banging through email, you're rocking, maybe you're on an airplane or you're on a train? It's even better when you have no internet and you're just working through disconnected. You look at that outbox, you're like, yeah, 33 emails in outbox. When I get to work, that's gonna, you feel like you got something done. But it's just a lie. You're not really getting anything done. You're just rearranging work. You're addicted to the sense of accomplishment. It's the kind of accomplishment you get when you have like a crossword puzzle or a word search. No actual work's getting done, but the sense of accomplishment is there. When you focus on things that are text, chats, most email, these things are urgent in the sense that they're in your face. Hey, yeah. What's going on? A little bad. I don't know. I talk too much. If I talk slower, well, then we discuss that. Low back. How did you know low back? Shoulder? Yeah. Cool. That was both urgent and important. Low back. Cool. Most email isn't, though. But when you're doing that kind of non-urgent, that kind of urgent work, it's not really important. You feel good about yourself. But it's a short-term thing. It's like a drug. Urgency addiction is a drug. It's short-term fix. But it doesn't solve the long-term problem, which is deciding to do things like post-project email. The kind of not fun stuff. But this is the stuff that gives you a sense of accomplishment later. And then very clearly, things like Twitter are neither urgent nor important. If someone is desperately trying to get a hold of you on Twitter, they probably don't really need to get a hold of you. Right? If they really need you, they will find you, and they won't use email, and they won't use Twitter. This is another one. This is a little hard to see, but this is another perspective on the quadrants. Remember those quadrants? The quadrant of necessity is things that are urgent and important. And I'll make all these slides available. The quadrant of deception is when things are urgent but not important. We get addicted to that. If it's deceptive, it feels like it would be important, but it really isn't. The quadrant of waste, Twitter, IM, chat. And then the really tough one, the quadrant of personal leadership. The quadrant of quality. These are those things that are important, but they're just not fun. They're just not urgent. So here's a crazy idea, right? In all systems, in networking systems, all systems have flow control. What does flow control mean, right? Sometimes there's lots of information flowing in, sometimes there's a little bit of information flowing in. When there's too much information flowing in, what do? We drop packets. You know how you drop packets on a cell phone when the call comes in? Ignore them. Will they call back? Depends on who's calling. But communication itself is fault tolerant. How many times have you ignored an email on purpose and then when they emailed back, like, oh, it went to spam? Did they never talk to you again? Did they refuse to be your friend? Did your boss fire you? It went to spam. What could I do? Communication is fault tolerant. If you want to clear out your inbox right now, you want to get to inbox 0 and see what that feels like? Seriously. Control A, delete. Probably the world will not end. But you will clear out your email. If you have 1,000, 500, 2,000 emails, take everything from last week and before and stick it in a folder called archive. You don't have to necessarily delete it, but just physically pick it up and move it away. And the world will not end. Stop using your inbox as a reference. If you don't want to call the folder archive, call it reference. It makes you happy. It's not an inbox. Right? You guys have to do taxes every year? You do taxes?
Yes.
Do you keep your tax paperwork from last year, the year before, the year before in a box called inbox on your desk? But you do that with your email. Drop packets, get stuff out of your inbox. Well, this guy, he can't drop his packets. He's juggling a knife and a chainsaw. But in most situations, dropping packets is okay. All right, this is a really, really important point. A lot of us, is this a good word? Did you get this correct?
Yep.
We use the term psychic weight. Okay? So this may be an obscure Americanism, but do you have like these boxes? I think I talked about this in the keynote. They record shows, and you can watch the show later. You have this kind of stuff? Satellite TV records the show. We call it a DVR, digital video recorder. What did we figure out what it was called yet? Someone told me it was called The Box.